another episode from Times Square, New York, New York. Enjoy the show. Hey guys, Tom from Klassic Plastik here, bringing you another episode. And today's pickup is extremely awesome. I'm very happy and super excited to have been able to pick something like this up. To many people, it's just another console. For me, it has a story behind it, and I've just loved this console since I was a kid. Of course, I'm talking about the TurboGrafx16. To you guys watching outside of the States, it's the PC engine. And I picked up a lot of games and also a console with a bunch of accessories. Before I jump right into it, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. As a child, I had the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, I was never able to pick up the TurboGrafx16 just because it was very expensive, and also the games were very expensive. So just to pick this up and start a collection of it, or even start gaming on a normal basis with this, was very expensive. I mean, just to play two players, you would need a TurboTap, which most people couldn't even afford because they were around $40 to $50. Well, I was around 6 years old. I was playing at my cousin's house, and he had just gotten one for his birthday. I played it once, and it just blew my mind. The games were awesome, colors were bright, and what really caught my attention was the fact that the games came on little cards. So I always remember the console with such fond memories. I always wanted one, but for so many years it just escaped me. It just wouldn't come up on the web for a decent price, or it was untested. So there was always a variable that impeded me from getting the TurboGrafx16. My wife joined a Facebook yard sale club. They sell locally and buy local. And this guy was looking for retro games, and I know some people will be wishy-washy about how I got the console, but nonetheless, a guy was saying he wanted retro games. He posted it up, and then a bunch of people just started dropping him comments, public comments, and they were just basically naming off the games they had: GameCubes, N64s, PS2s. So nothing that really caught my attention until a gentleman put out that he had just visited his mom's house, and in the attic he found his TurboGrafx16 from when he was a child. And it had tons of games, and my wife jumped on it. I didn't even know about it until we were actually meeting the guy later that night. So my wife made the deal. She haggled, and basically the only reason I have it is because she got it, and thank you very much. So let's jump right in. A couple weeks ago on one of my other haul videos, you guys might have remembered that I picked up Keith Courage. And basically, after I picked up Keith Courage, I started actively looking for a TurboGrafx16 and still couldn't find it. But I just wanted to play this game so much. This is the TurboGrafx unofficial mascot, and then Bonk took over with his adventures. Both awesome games. But picked this game up, and I just thought it was awesome that it came in its case, because not very many games come in their cases. And the cases are hard to find, and with the manual and all, I mean, it completely drives the price of the games up. So whenever I can find games, it doesn't even matter if they're sports titles, I try to pick them up on the TurboGrafx16. With that said, let's jump right into what the console brought. The first game is TV Sports Football, and it's complete in box. It even has the little brace there so the game doesn't fall out. It has the booklet, and TurboGrafx16 games did not come out with the back printed with anything. It just was a sticker and the booklet. The next game, TV Sports Hockey. And this is also complete in box. The only thing that's missing is the little plastic sleeve, but that's no big deal. You can pick those up for fairly cheap. Complete in box. Next game, Power Golf. And this is also complete in box without the sleeve, but the booklets are in really good condition. I mean, this guy really took care of them, and after the Sega Saturn came out, he just put this away and just never played it until recently, where he took it out and tested it to put it up for sale. The next game is Moto Rotor. It's a weird name. I was gonna say Rider, but very cool racing game, and it is also complete in box, missing the plastic sleeve, and the manual is in perfect condition. These three next games I love because I did play as a child. I even played the remakes of them, at least of one of them. So next game, Vigilante, complete in case. And this one does bring the plastic sleeve with the little brace to keep the game in its place. I rhymed. It's about time. I'm joking. I know that was cheesy, but I'm just really happy to have this console, so don't judge me. Next game, Blazing Lasers. This is an awesome shoot 'em up, and one thing the TurboGrafx is known for is its shoot 'em up library, and it's complete in case with the brace and also the plastic sleeve. So very happy to have picked up this haul. I mean, this is the stack of games that came with the haul. I mean, a stack like this would already be running you about $80 to $100, just because, of course, the rarity of the TurboGrafx16 games, and of course there's a couple of titles in here like Blazing Lasers that are very well known and desired. Last but not least, I have one more game, and this game is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you with Splatterhouse, and this is the first one, complete in case. And although this might not be the most valuable or most rare game, it is the most memorable for me. I love this game. I remember playing it as a child, giving me nightmares, but just thinking of how cool, how awesome the graphics were, and just the carnage of splatting your enemies against the wall. So once again, Splatterhouse. And it comes with its brace, it comes with its manual, and its plastic sleeve. I mean, just pure awesomeness. Just this game sold me alone. And then moving on to hardware, we have a turbo pad. And the turbo pads are very, very similar to the Sega Master System pad and also the Nintendo Entertainment System pad. The really cool thing about this is that the plastic is very, very tough. It has nice weight to it, and the gauge of this cable is ridiculous. I mean, this looks like a power cable, but it just leads into this humongous connector. So very, very strong build. Buttons are responsive, and of course the turbo functions work. So very happy with this controller. And what would a console be without a second controller? And this controller is also responsive. It also brings the turbo functions, as do all controllers, but on these they actually work. And all the buttons are responsive and they work. The only quirk on this one is that the one button is, it takes a little more pressure to make it react in game, but I'm sure if I take it out and I clean it, I should be able to find what's wrong with it. And then of course, as you guys know, how are you going to play two controllers when the console itself only brings one port for a controller? Well, he was awesome enough to include the TurboTap. And the TurboTap, true to tradition, has this huge cable. I mean, I don't know what gauge this is, but I haven't seen any console except the AES come with this. And I mean, just a massive, massive cable. The really cool thing is that the TurboTap can hold up to, or host up to 5 controllers. And the plastic on this is very rigid, very strong build. I mean, this is definitely a quality built console. And to finish off the haul, I have the actual Turbo console, the TurboGrafx16 console. And this is actually a pretty small console. Most of these consoles don't bring this back cover because most of the times kids would take them off, wouldn't put them back on, or they'd get lost or broken. But this is a fairly small console because once you take this back cover off, it actually is very small, and the only thing you have in the back is the port for the CD attachment. And as I said before, the console works perfect. You have your power port and your video port, and this works through AF, or the antenna signal. And you can set it to channel 3 or 4. And I have seen online where they splice video cables, and then these two cables, these 2 pins on the corner are actually your left and right audio. So I've seen that. I don't think I'm going to fidget too much with it just because they're hard enough to get your hands on, and at a decent price, it's almost impossible. I did pay premium for the whole set, and but in all honesty, when you have such a connection with a piece of hardware or a piece of gaming history, it really doesn't matter how much you pay for it, whether you paid above market value or below. I still got a deal, but I did pay around $100 for the whole haul. Just in games, there's about $80, and then of course you got your TurboTap, your 2 controllers, and the console. So it's a very good deal. I've seen completed consoles with 4 games, sports games, going for about $150, $130. So very happy with this pickup. It's hooked up. So first thing we're gonna do is share with you guys a review of this awesome collection of games that I freaking picked up in one haul. So guys, thank you very much for supporting Klassic Plastik. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, game on.